Shabbat Shalom. This week's Torah portion is called Parshas Korach. Korach was a very wealthy, genius person. He even had prophetic tendencies, and yet the Parsha is about him fermenting, leading a rebellion against Moshe and Aaron. How did it happen? A few different ideas are presented. One of the ideas is that after the inauguration rites of the Levites, part of the inauguration rites were they're shaving off all of their bodily hair and being waved like a lulav by Aaron, the high priest. He came home and he told his wife what had happened, and she made fun of him, and she said, it can't be that this is what God wants. It must be that Moses is making it up. And this so fired up Korach that he went out and he gathered together other people. The enemies of Moses gathered around him, and that was the beginning of the rebellion. You know, there's another explanation, and it talks about the tendencies of a person, the emotional, intellectual tendencies of a person. And the Torah actually showed us in the letters of Korach's name. The letters of Korach's name are Kuf, Reish, and Chet, Korach. Before we explain the inner dimension of the letters, let's talk about the four letters of God's name, Yud and Hey and Vav and Hey. Hey, the final letter of God's name, goes on this world, our physical reality, and how we're supposed to behave here. And we can see it in the shape of the letter. The letter Hey has a horizontal line, a complete horizontal line, a complete vertical line, and the third leg of the Hey is a Yud, is a dot on the bottom left of the Hey. Okay, and that's how it's supposed to be. The horizontal line goes on a person's thoughts, right? And the vertical line goes on a person's speech, right? And the third leg of the Hey is going on a person's actions. Okay, so what happened by Korach? Look at the first letter. A Kuf has that same Reish shape, the same horizontal line going on thought, and the vertical line going on speech. Okay, but what happens? The third leg of the Kuf drags down below the line, and what does that show? That shows that in some areas, Korach had an exaggerated aspect of action, too much action, until it was dragged down below the line, not like the Hey where it was even with the line. Okay, interesting. What about the Reish? Again, the Reish has the same horizontal line, thought, the same vertical line, speech, okay? But in the Reish, there's no third leg at all. That means in some other areas, Korach was completely lacking proper action, nothing at all, right? He stayed in the world of thought and speech. The third letter of Korach's name is the most interesting. Aches has, again, the horizontal line, and it has also the vertical line, thought and speech. What about the third leg? The third leg is completely connected from top to bottom on the left side. A chet is a three-sided square, empty at the bottom. Okay, what does that tell us about action? Because thought and speech, you first to think about something, you speak about it to foment what you're going to do, and then Torah says there should be a pause. Pause, wait for a little bit. You know, be considerate. Think for a second. Hold back before you act. No, but the Chet has three full lines. There was no pause. Korach jumped immediately into action, impetuous action. That's the lesson for each of us. Okay, the lesson for each of us is, right, use our thought and our speech as a preparation for action. Take a break. Think for a second. Is what I'm about to do correct? And only after you're clear, jump in. Shabbat Shalom.